Riot Games is the same sort of shit. There's tons of like sexual harassment and unfair treatment and shit like that. Yeah, I know. I think Blizzard really needs to take a look in the mirror and, you know, really readjust, because I think there's so many problems within that company now. It's not. I don't feel like it's the gaming powerhouse and gold standard of gaming companies like it used to be. I think, in my opinion. I mean, even if you just look at it strictly from like a professional like quality of games, a lot of people think that the quality of World of Warcraft's gone down by a lot. The quality of Overwatch has absolutely gone down a lot. I think Diablo 3 was not a success. I think it was a failure of a game. I mean, you know, you're coming from one of the most beloved games of all time in Diablo 2, and you make Diablo 3, and it's mediocre at best, you know. Where? Oh. Can you do more? Problem is always the higher up. I mean, if there fundamentally is an issue with like sexual harassment and shit like that, and completely, you're gonna alienate tons of really qualified employees because of it. You're gonna lose tons of qualified employees because of it. No one's gonna want to work. No one's gonna want to work in an environment like that. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the higher ups in the company. I think it comes down to.
Everyone spam Chipsa love right now.
And you look at a lot of Blizzard employees. Blizzard as a company have hemorrhaged a lot of their higher ups. You know, tons of people who worked on World of Warcraft have left to go work on like their own MMO type game, right? I remember that. Silver Knight next to the 10-3, appreciate man. You know, so that becomes a problem as well. Best part is, you know, no OWL players will say anything. Or at the end of the day, man, unfortunately, people aren't going to bite the hand that feeds them. That's just the way it is. I think OWL players can tweet and there'll be no repercussions for them, but at the end of the day, it's easy to say something when, oh my god, when there's nothing at stake, really, right? But when your livelihood's on the line, it's
go. Go low. Brick.
Wow, I actually killed it through Zeno.
Pulling bow.
Wow, I'll take that.
Forward using bongo.
Someone gonna widow.
There is a widow, yeah. Pulling Zen.
Still widow.
QQ Zen.
Give it here. Nice.
Hand that feeds you is
Trust me, man.
it's you. Hand that feeds you is not my crew over the set.
Watch out for that.
Sorry. Someone
Brick on point, Q break.
Yeah, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I just hope they get their compensation. That's all I can hope. Is it this real? None of the, I think a lot of these like moral victory shit, you know, like people supporting them on Twitter and shit. Yeah, sure, it's nice, but at the end of the day, I just want these people to get the money that they deserve.
Yikes.
Shouldn't wait FC enough, isn't it? I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree. It has to come from the top, because I think that my guess is that these people complained to the company, and then the company just said, whatever. We'll do their own internal stuff, and they're just going to look like turn the blind eye because the other consequences are more significant. Well, that's what I hope. I hope what happens is that they win the lawsuit and they get millions in compensation, and I hope Blizzard loses millions because of it, and then they understand. I mean, at the end of the day, in businesses like this, lads, you got to understand is that cash rules everything around me.
All around.
Dollar bills, y'all. Like, at the end of the day, the only way that the company and companies in general really care about how much money they make. That's just the way it is. We need to go aggro like right now. So until these practices end up costing them money, they're not going to stop doing it. That's just the way society is. How you doing, Andrew, man?
Someone behind right side.
I'm bad people and employees are scared. Oh, I agree with you. It's a terrible situation to be in. But I think that the only way to beat it is to come forward, and I mean, again, that's why I'm happy that there's a lawsuit going on with it now, and I hope it's successful. Because community perception of people isn't really going to do the trick, I don't think. Like, people can look at Blizzard and say, like, well, this company does shady practices, you know, while, you know, sexual harassment stuff. Riot went through the exact same thing. Is Riot any more or less popular than it was before? No. People will get upset in the short term, and then you know, give it 6 months, give it a year, no one gives a shit anymore, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. So that's why I want, instead of like, that's why I always say with things like this, instead of winning like a moral victory, I'd rather just these people get paid. I'd rather these people get compensation that they deserve. It's just my opinion.
Oh, can we win on the left?
Oh wow.
I can shoot in 4 and 4.
That is so unlucky. Jamming dodger.
Nice, these runes.
Those are Jade, this one to set in the life. Oh, I agree with you. I mean, that's the shit that was like they went on like some fucking trip or something like that. No, the shit. I mean, it's tweet. I think if there's a tweet you're talking about, is kind of like both. It was a good take, and then he just like went on like, oh, it's not Me Too shit or something like that. But yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, I think here's the issue. Is that I think that a lot of these companies are run by like your standard gamer bros. Oh my god. You know, like a lot of the company, I know a lot of companies are just run by people that just played games. I'm like, fuck it, I'll make my own game. Vigorous is level 1. Like, that's very common. Like, I know specifically the Mordhau dev, right? Was like a competitive Chivalry 1 player or something like that, and decided to make his own game because he didn't like Chivalry or whatever. And this guy is like your standard stereotypical gamer,
So
bro.
what do you do to play Doomfist against that?
Suffer. So it's like the if you read everything